Hey everyone! Oh, good morning. Yikes, that's my printer, my old HP printer making that noise. How are you this morning? It's Rita from Miss Rita to the Rescue, and we are here for Friday edition of Cricut Chat. And if you've been around for a while, you know Fridays are 3D Fridays, and we are going to make a beautiful 3D structure or a box from Dreaming Tree today that features a peony on it. And this is the way that the people that put it together put theirs, and I chose this color scheme for mine. So this is an all paper project. It is a paid file. It costs $2.99. I think it's part of a grouping. And it might actually be part of the grouping that features the hydrangea pots, because I can see it in the background here, these hydrangea pots, and we're going to be doing those tomorrow night. And so if you are planning on buying this, yes, it's part of something called the Love You Mom bundle, which includes a box card that looks like a mail box. There goes my printer again. So if you want to purchase both of these, this is one that we're doing tomorrow night, and then the box, the peony box, we're doing this morning. So I hope that is going to work out with your budget. I understand that people have budgets. Maybe these are not the projects for you, but you could still watch to learn a few things, especially if you are new to paper crafts. Now, all week long, we've been working on flowers, and we've also been working on using a lot of outside designers, and that was on purpose because I want people to start to feel familiar with uploading SVGs to Design Space. And it's not that I'm going to veer from Cricut Design Space. I love Cricut Design Space, but I want you to understand that there are so many designers out there, and you can choose the ones that you like. I've introduced you this week to 3 of them, but there are many more. And these are my 3 favorite paper designers, but you can, find elsewhere other paper designers. And even though I did not feature them, there are a couple that I really, really love that are paper designers that I did not feature this week. So be on the lookout. And if you're looking for these companies, I would suggest you do a search as like paper SVG or a paper project SVG. You can also go to Pinterest and Etsy. Although I would, Etsy can be a little confusing right now with SVGs, but I did find a couple of really interesting ones there. So I it doesn't hurt to go look and see what's out there. These 3, SVG Cuts, Lori Whitlock, and Dreaming Tree, are 3 of my favorites, but there are many, many more out there. So let's do that. Before I get started, I want to say good morning to everyone, and also to let you know I went to Lori, yes, you're right. And so someone's saying at least Dreaming Tree gives you sizes, as does SVG Cuts as well. But Lori's, you have to remember about Lori is that I think she started designing for silhouette, and so it's a little bit little more difficult for her to sort of pivot to Cricut. So she tends to favor the silhouette machine, and so it's easier for her. I don't know, whatever the deal is. She might have a deal with them or whatever. If you don't know what a silhouette is, It's a competitive or competitor's die cut machine. A Cricut is often called a cutter or a die cut machine. That's kind of an old school thing, but it's a Cricut to me and to most other people. And so, but there are competitors out there, and people often ask me, what do you think of this competitor and that competitor? And I will tell you that I don't know what the other competitors are, because I started with the Cricut. I did research some of the others, and there are a couple. There's like Silhouette is the name of the company, and then there's also Brother. And there was an Eclipse. I don't know if that's still around. But I honestly I prefer Cricut. I like the personable nature of the Cricut. The fact that I can go to the folks at Cricut and say, I would like to see this. It might take a long time to get there, but they always listen to me. And that's one thing I heard they don't do over at Silhouette. But I mean, I'm not trying to be disparaging anybody. I'm just saying that I like the personal interaction that I have. And I like that it's sort of like iPhone versus Samsung or something. Like, most people are iPhone users, right? And then others are like, some others are Samsung. It's just sort of, to me, Cricut is like the iPhone of die cutters, if that makes any sense. But you can have your own personal favorite. Me, I like Cricut, and that's what I do. I will show you how to do Cricut. I probably will never, ever venture into sort of a comparison of one machine or the other. There are some pretty awesome people out there that do those kinds of comparisons, just not for me. And the other thing, too, is that I always try to do projects that are somewhat related to Cricut. Sometimes I do veer off, but like, for instance, with those alcohol inks, we made it so that you could do a card with the alcohol ink. So that worked out really, really well. And same thing for stamping and other things that we're going to be doing, embossing folders and hot heat embossing. So I always try to bring it back to Cricut, because it's sort of my baby and I love it, and I can't imagine not using my Cricut one day out of any of the days. I just love using it. So anyway, that's my little thing. So yesterday, in my desire to have all the right materials, and because I could not find my styrofoam balls that I had, and I know I'm going to find them afterwards. But anyway, I went to Michael's and I picked up a few things, right? All I went in for was styrofoam balls, and like $200 later, I have all this other stuff. One of the things that they're doing right now is they're having a paper sale, which I was able to pick up some really interesting new papers that they have in their line. So right now, I've been telling you about this paper. It's called, let me just grab it. It actually has a new look. It's called Recollections. This is the Michael's brand paper, and it often will come with 50 sheets, sometimes 25 if it's a special effect, and this one it's a green special foil paper. And these are, let me just show you the 50 pack. So here is a 50 pack, right? This is what you normally would get. Now, these normally in the U.S., they run $5.99 for a 50 pack of 8.5 by 11 inch paper. And this paper does cut beautifully, beautifully, beautifully on the Cricut. I've been using it for years. I love it. And what I'm happy to see is that they have expanded their line instead of shrinking it, which a lot of other people have shrunk their paper line. And so I'm so happy to see some new things. And I wanted to show you a couple of them, including, well, we've got green foil, but we also have pastel foil. See that? Pastel foil. And we have a red foil. That's going to come in handy at Christmas and also Valentine's Day. And then there was this, what's it called? Jewel tone foil. Look at that. Aren't those pretty? And then, oh my God, you're going to die. Remember all those people that like that iridescent cardstock that is part of the insert cards? Look at this stuff I found. I guess it's, what's it called? What do they call it? Holographic foil. It's 25 sheets. And it's the same price, $5.99. So that's part of the deal right now. They have, oops, sorry, dropped it. They have a deal right now going that you buy one. No, that's the other thing. They have a deal right now that the $5.99 packs are $3.99. And what I did notice also, in addition to all these wonderful foils, is they're starting to package the most popular colors alone. So instead of getting 50, like usually you get 5 colors, 10 of each or something like that, you would instead get 50 all the same color. And this, as you guys probably know, this is one of my favorite colors. It's like a mint retro green. And I did also find, hurrah, some pinks. And this is just one color pink. I don't know what color, bubble gum. And I should have used it for this, but I didn't unpack it in time. And this one here is called Blush, right? And oh, look at this one. Teal. Isn't that beautiful? Teal, and it's all one color. So I'm kind of juggling these paper packs because they're heavy, but I was so excited and I wanted to show you them. Also, let me see if I can grab it. The other thing I noticed is that they've added 12 by 12 paper into the mix, and I cut it last night, and it cuts beautifully, just like the 8.5 by 11. Now, they don't have this in a lot of colors yet, but I suppose they're probably testing. And this one here is light blue, so I'm going to use it for our hydrangeas tomorrow night, because hydrangeas come in blue and they come in pink, purple. So I'm going to use this. This is 12 by 12. This 25 sheet is $5.99 normally, and until I think Saturday night, it is $3.99. Wonderful 25 sheets of beautiful paper in 12 by 12 for $3.99. That's unheard of, folks. So I definitely would go and check that out. They also are having a sale on their Hot Buy paper pads. They don't have a ton out, but they do have a couple that I wanted to point out. And that is, they have this spring glitter pack. It is 24 sheets, and if you are a glitter fanatic, which I am, you can see it's like pinks. I guess that's orange. It's a yellow, a green, a blue, and a purple. So that's pretty awesome. And they have another, this one's called spring glitter, but they do have another, I think it's called pastel glitter. And I found also this, which is totally perfect with what we've been doing this week. This one's called Plush Peonies, and it's on the Hot Buy, and I really loved this, so I did incorporate this particular sheet into today's project, and I had a hard time picking it Sorry, I had a hard time picking it because it has just so, look at this. Is that not gorgeous? Oh my gosh. I just love peonies anyway. So this is Michael's, and Michael's is pretty much around I think they're in Canada and the US and just about anywhere. And so if you are looking for more paper, they also have an online entity, michaels.com, and I do have an affiliate link that if you do purchase from Michaels online, which to be honest, I've been doing it a lot more. I did not yesterday, but I've been doing the online purchasing a lot more at Michaels, and they also have like a 1-day service, like $9.99. But anyway, if you do, I have a link and I will put it in the description of the video. Okay. Yeah. So if you like paper crafting, I'm the one that you want to hang out with. So, in addition to all of the paper that I got a bunch of interesting doodads. I would call them doodads. One is, remember those alcohol ink pens that we all bought or that we were talking about? Well, I found these really kind of cool these are stadium, cases, I guess. These I got in a case, right, from Amazon. And so I did not like the case. It kind of gets all wiggly if you take out a few. So I thought that I would put my pens in here and then I'd use them more frequently. Now I am running out of space. So today after the show, I am going to do a deep clean and a reorganization of my space so that I can, I feel like it's closing in on me. So I'm going to do a reorganization after this today. Before we also get started, I just want to mention that we will have our monthly Zoom call, but it won't be this Saturday. We always have it. Well, I don't want to say we always. We just got started doing it. We've been having it like the first Saturday of the month, but then April was like the night before Easter. So this one, May 1st, is actually Saturday. So I thought we'd wait till May 8th to do our Zoom call. Okay? I'm sorry, Mary Jane. And of course, guys, I only say this because I love a bargain and I too have an enormous amount of paper, but I can't pass up something new, especially if it's on sale. So I just wanted to let, it's very smooth. Michael's Recollection's very smooth. The black can be a little pulpy. Some of the greens can be a little bit pulpy. When I say pulpy, I mean just kind of like a little more like hairy. You can see the pulp from the wood in the paper. So anyway, so tomorrow night, we're going to be doing hydrangeas in 2 different styles. We're going to be doing a Leah Griffith hydrangea ball, and I will give you the file for that because it's free in Design Space. Here is that's the only thing you're going to cut out, but you're going to cut out a lot of them. And then we'll also be doing this. Let me just close this. This hydrangea, we probably will not do the tray. And I will show you how to do it without putting the mom on there if you want to just make a nice home decorative home feature type of thing. The tray goes together. To be honest, I never have liked the tray too much, but we can put it together. I can put it together, but I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on it. But this is really interesting because they tackle the hydrangea ball by using a half of a styrofoam ball, and they actually use pins, these pearl head pins, to place them onto the styrofoam ball, and so it really gives a look of a pot. But the Leah Griffith one that I do is just used a full styrofoam ball. So it's like this, only double, right? And then we use ribbon to hang it up. So we're going to do that tomorrow night, Okay, so let's get started on this. Now, one of the things that's different about Dreaming Tree is when you purchase something from them, they have you have an account, you see, and what I really like about their site is that you can always easily find the downloads, the things that you've purchased, even the free things. And I have all of these. Look at these are all downloads, and I can download them as many times as I want in perpetuity. So if I forget or cannot find one of these files, I always come back here and find it and then re-download it. That's a definite plus about Dreaming Tree. The other plus is that they have free SVG files, and a lot of them. And when they say free, they mean free, you know, free. What's that commercial? Free. That's what these are. And there are at least 100 of them. And we have done quite a number of them. And they range all of the seasons, all of the, holidays, and usually when they release a bundle, because they work mostly in bundles. When they release a bundle, so here it is on bundles. When they release a bundle, they usually release a free item that sort of goes with the bundle. That's what I've found. And so if you are looking for bundles, they do have a place here on bundles. And the other thing that they do that's really kind of nice is that they give you a free gift with a purchase. So usually, you know, it's thematic. So this one here, Mother's Day. So if you want to get this, and this is a really pretty box, and looks like this is a box card and a wreath, and their bundles usually have 3 big projects in there. So if you want to get this, you would likely go and find something else and purchase those things, and I think it's like $9. So you may need to buy 1 or 2 of their bundles. Sometimes they'll sell things individually, like this fire and dragonfly lantern. I'm tripping over my words today. I apologize. So that's how they get you to go deeper into their catalog of projects. Okay. And then make sure you download them. Now, here is the thing. All of their files come with, let me just go here. So here are my downloads. And all of their files, let me see. I'm trying to make it so you can see this. Okay. So here's the Peony Gift Box, which again, you can buy separately for $2.99. You can buy it as part of the set for $6.99. And then what you'll do when you download, you'll get this folder in your downloads file. Now you might have to unzip it. I don't know, but mine does it automatically, and I'm working on a Mac. So you'll get this folder, and inside the folder, there are a couple things. There is a JPEG or a picture of what you're doing. So if you open that up, it gives you a very nice picture so you can look at your picture and say, I get it. I know where I need to put these pieces. Okay. So you get that. And then you also get this. It's called a PDF, and it's sort of instructional. But what's great about it, somebody was asking yesterday, you know, did they tell you what to cut? This is one of those companies that tells you exactly the supplies you're going to need. I love this about this company, and they'll tell you right down to the sheet of what color you want. The colors, by the way, they have unique names, but they are part of he uses American Crafts cardstock, and so that's their color scheme. So bubblegum is actually a color with AC cardstock, and so you'll see some interesting colors, like for instance peony. And then if you need a pattern, they'll tell you includes a pattern, and there are also little optional extras that you can do. And then of course there's glue. And then what they do is they lay out on the PDF exactly what you're going to be cutting with those colors. So for instance, for the bottom or the base of the box, we're going to need 2 sheets. And see, it says up here, 2 sheets. Well, it says, doesn't say 2 sheets of bubble gum. Oh, yeah, it does. It's 1 sheet of 12 by 12, 1 sheet of 8.5 by 11. I would probably just cut them on 12 by 12, but 2 sheets of bubble gum. And then here's the pea pod. Here's the patterned paper, white, and then the color flowers, foil, and then the stamen, okay? So when you go to Design Space, what you will need to do, which is different than what we've been working with, okay? What you need to do is start from scratch and go to Uploads, and then you would upload an image and hit Browse. You could drag and drop here as well. And go to your downloads file and select or find that Peony Gift Box, and we'll go to this folder called SVG. And you will see in this folder, we have each SVG that coordinates with those colors in some way that we did. This is the not so good thing about Dreaming Tree. You have to download and upload each individual color. So in some cases, this one's not terribly complicated. It's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So you'll have to upload 10, and you just hit that open and then save, update it. But you have to keep going back and doing it all, the entire group, okay? And this can get a little complicated. So if you're brand new to uploading SVGs, I would advise, even if it's really, really a beautiful thing that you're really drawn to, start off slow with them. Start off with one of the free files that will get you in the habit, or at least get you familiar with this project, or this company, I should say. So here I am going through, and I'm making sure that I am uploading each one of these SVGs. See, so there's 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 done already. And sometimes I get confused and I'll do the same one twice, but that's why I like that preview pane. And I'm just going to keep going. Petals. I think I skipped one. Got to go back. I try to do this, but I do find this a little bit difficult, and I'm not gonna lie. This is the one pain point, the ouchie from the Dreaming Tree, is that it takes a long time to bring their files into Design Space. I wish they would make it easier. Maybe they will. Maybe they'll hear us and or hear me and make it easier. Okay, so here we go. Here are all the pieces. So when we want to cut this out, we're going to grab all of the pieces. Now, if you have, for instance, if you have a project that uses more than, what do we have here? 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So if we have one that has like more than 12 layers, and they do exist, by the way, you are going to want to go to your view all in recent uploads, because you want to make sure you're getting all of the pieces to this project, okay? So we don't want to view all, and in fact, this is interesting because usually when you view all, they're all there. Okay, so I'm going to go back here to recent uploads, and I'm going to pull the stamen, the gold, and then my petals. This is my patterned piece. This is my top of my box. This is the leaves, and then this is the bottom of my box. So I bring them all into Design Space. Now, because this is an outside designer, you know what we have to do. We have to make sure that all of the dash cut lines that represent scores are attached to each of the colors or each of the SVGs. If you don't do that, you'll have these ghost mats that just have like dashed cut lines, and you need to do that. The other thing that Dreaming Tree is kind of a pain point about Dreaming Tree is that they often don't have solid score lines. So if you want to use, say, your Maker with your scoring wheel, or even, your Explorer with your scoring stylus, then you kind of have to manipulate it a little bit and switch them. It's not an easy process. I like the dash cut lines myself, so I just go ahead and use them. But if you don't like the dash cut lines, it's a little bit of a problematic, okay? So each one of these I am going to attach because as long as they have more than one layer, remember we talked about attach here. So here's the green, and you'll see you have two layers. In this one, you can almost not see. That's actually where the dash cut lines that represent the score. So you just have to make sure you select this SVG part or this layer, and then just hit attach down here at the bottom, and you do that with every single piece. Don't skip this step because you will get frustrated. So even on the petals, you have to attach and attach. Now, for this case, he has the petals at 2 different colors, but I don't like that. So I'm going to show you how to change that. This is, I think, one of the only parts of this that does not have the attach feature. So let's say you want to change the colors, you want to see how it's going to look. Like, for instance, having this purple here, which represents the patterned paper you might not like. You might want to change it to a different color. Or if this is better, if you can see it better in white, you can, because that's what it's supposed to be, white. I might change the color just by going and selecting it and coming up here, and you'll see the color that's in there. So this is gold, and then I can just click on here and change it to whatever I want, or back to gold if I wanted to, or whatever I want to do. Or if you have 2 parts of your file, so we have these flowers, okay? And one part is 2 different colors. I'm sorry, one part is one color, the other part is the other color, but you feel like they should all be the same, which is what I did. The easy way to do this so that they will be the same color is to go to Color Sync. And Color Sync is up here at the top of your layers. So here it's sort of a toggle switch, layers and Color Sync. So hit Color Sync, and you will see by the colors all of your cuts lined up. So in this case, you see we have these 2, and they're going to be the same color. And this is a great way to minimize the amount of mats you have before you even actually get to cutting. Okay, so in this case, here are 2 different colors of pink, and if I want to make them one color, I'm going to just take the one that I don't want pink, this color pink, and just drag it to the other one. And you'll notice on my screen, they both are now the exact same color. You could do it another way. You could go up here to the operation and change it there, but this ensures that they're the exact same color, and that is good for saving time with your paper selection and also in your mats. So when you go to make this, it comes out, and it's, all these mats, it's 10 of them. I did cut 2 because I want to demonstrate. And when you do that, you end up with 17 mats. There are some things that you can sort of combine to save paper if you want to do 2. like for instance, these white ones, you could certainly move these together so they'll cut together. And all you do is choose this. This is in the like look it over phase, that middle part before you get to the cutting and picking your cutting layer. You're going to find that part, that mat that might be able to be combined, and then you click on it and you see that there's triple dots here, and you get two choices, which is move object. So if I do move object, and I think I showed you this yesterday, it brings up all my mats. Now this is for 2, okay? Just so that you know. This is for 2, and I'm trying to go from 17 mats down to something a little more reasonable, okay? So I'm thinking that the white can be combined, maybe some of these pinks and these pinks can be combined. So I chose one of the whites. Now I am in the process of moving, and so where is the best place to move it to? This other blue one. So I just click on that. You can't move on, you can't put it in the mat that it's coming from, but you can choose any of these other mats or make a new one, okay? So once you do that, you then have to come back to that mat and sort of arrange and make sure, because they sometimes will come in overlap like this, so you have to kind of make sure you're arranging it so that there is no overlap and they will cut correctly, okay? And then what you'll see is that you'll have a mat here that's empty. Don't worry about that. It will go away when you get to the cut phase, okay? So let us do this again. I'm not sure, but I might be able to combine these two things together. So I'm going to click on the triple dots and hit move object, and I'm going to try it here. I don't know that this is going to work, and I'll tell you why. There's a bounding box around both of these. Now, as an advanced user, what you could do to get around this and save yourself some paper is to go back to your canvas. You hit cancel, you come back to your canvas, and you can look at these individual layers. Now, here's the one that we're getting stuck on, right? This one here. And so what you can do is duplicate this and then choose contour and just contour out one on one page and contour out the other on the other page. Okay, that's what you do. And this will make putting this together, we'd be able to put 4 of these when we make 2 together. You can do that for any parts of this. You can do it for these pieces or even these pieces. We didn't have a problem with that though. So know that you can do that. The only thing that is a little bit problematic about this technique is that you have to do this but first you have to take those dash cut lines away because they represent an attached image. So if I were to say duplicate this white piece, let's look at this white piece. You'll notice at the bottom down here, the contour does not exist. The button does not exist. So once you have it here, you are going to detach, okay? Detach and try very hard not to move the, you might have to ungroup it too, which is what I just did. But try very hard not to move this. These are your lines. I'm moving them just because I want to show you, but you want to make sure that these lines stay up. And then you're going to just select the layer, that part of the layer, which you can also do on the right-hand side. And you're going to hit contour now, which you can do, and you can then contour out whatever piece you want. You see that? And then you can attach these again. Now, this is problematic, but you can do it because see here, these dash cut lines are it's problematic just simply because you're going to end up with these dash cut lines. But honestly, if you do this, you just skip that mat. You just skip that mat in the end. Okay, so cutting it out is pretty easy. I did cut most of these out on just a medium cardstock setting. I did choose for the stamen, which looks like this. I did choose intricate cutting, and I think for some of the flower petals, I might have chosen the cardstock for intricate cut, but they pretty much everything cuts on the medium cardstock setting, and I'm going to show you how to put it together because that's the fun part. I don't need to show you how to cut it out. So I'm going to move you down. Okay, so in addition to all of our cut piece, yes, you could hide that mat too. Yes, Sandra, there's often several ways. Yes, you can hide it. You absolutely could. Or you can just skip it. Sometimes I just skip it, to be honest, going through to hide it. But whatever, you know. So this is what we're making. It is a 6, so it's a hex box. See that? It's a hex box, and it has like this ribbon, and when you open it up, you can see it's a perfect box for, I think it would be a perfect box for maybe a mug, a beautiful ornament, one of those really big ornaments, or whatever else you want to put in there. And it's really easy to assemble. It's a thinner box on the bottom, but that's okay because I find that this is just beautiful as a decorative piece, and I often bring it out in the spring and put it on my table or on my sofa table or something like that, and I don't often give it away. I have made these like a gazillion times, and I've tried different things with this. Yeah, mug would fit there perfectly. I think even maybe the 15-ounce mug would fit in there as well. So the top is also hexagon shaped, and it has this gorgeous flower on it. So if you didn't like the style of the flower of the peony that we did the other day, which is this one, remember? You could make these. And the cool thing about these is that each of the petals have a little hole in it. So if you didn't want to put this on the box, you could actually have a stem for it. That's a cool thing. So, which we didn't really have with this one. Okay, the other thing that I want to mention here is that think when you get to like Christmas and Halloween and Thanksgiving, remember this box, because think about this box in some gorgeous Christmas colors, maybe without this flower, maybe with a poinsettia or something like that, or without the flower. This would make just one of those boxes that are just really nice, and also, you know, can be made a little more masculine if that's what it called for. So putting it together is fairly simple. There's the top, there's the bottom, and there are the flowers. So let's start with the bottom. The bottom piece is these two pieces, and I chose this color pink. I was having a really hard time finding pinks yesterday in 12 by 12, which is what I needed for, especially for this piece. I'm going to move you a little bit. Okay. And so this is very simple. Fold at all the score lines, and you'll see that there are these tabs here. Okay. And if it helps, fold them the other way for you. I like to fold them both ways. And so we're folding. Now this paper that I used is called White Core, and I'll tell you, and I'm showing you right here. See how white this is? That's called white core, meaning the inside is white. So one of the tricks that people use with white core is that they often will ink the edges. So when we get this done, we could ink this edge. I think this is the only white core that I used. And since I'm not a huge fan of inking, I won't show you that part of the process. So once we get it all cut out, and you'll see that it's basically, I want to make sure I do this right. It's basically the exact same piece cut twice, and you want to hold them so that the tab is on the left side. So here is a tab and here is a tab, and we are just going to connect these two pieces like this. And we're going to do it as close as we can to that dash cut line because we want to make it easy to put the cover on this box. And this is something that does take a little bit of patience and practice because it's very simple to sort of not be that close to that edge. But it can be done. Then you're going to fold it in half, and you notice that it folds right on over itself, and then you have this tab here. Put the tab in and put the glue on this second tab. So you're creating a completed loop of paper, okay? You got to really give it a few seconds to hold because you're going to need for it to be all one piece for the end part of, or the next part of the project, okay? So this ends up being the top, and this is going to be the bottom where all of these tabs are. See that? Actually, I think I did this. Did I do it wrong? I did. Because I put this tab on the outside. Naughty Rita, I did it wrong. So do make sure that you put the tabs on the inside. I don't know that I'm going to be able to undo it. I'll do that. Sometimes you make a mistake, oh well, and you can fix it. But see, as I ripped it, I'm just going to say, you know what? I'm going to leave that tab like that. Close it up. So you want the tabs to not show, but in this case, I made a mistake and one of my tabs is showing. Okay? All right, so once you get those two sides that are connected, you want to turn it so that the tabs are facing you and sort of pointing in. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to lift them up, each one of these up. I'm going to put the glue on the inside of the tab, the inside edge. Okay? This will make sense in a second. So, all right. You could do it neater. Of course, you could always do it neater than me. All right, so here are the box bottoms. They are almost identical, except one has this little dot in it. That dot or that little punch there indicates that it is the inside of the box. So we are going to fold in these tabs. This is how I do it. There are different ways that you can do it, I'm sure. Turn it around and take the inside with the dot, and we're going to put it inside of the box. Now, what you'll see is that, I don't want to handle it too much, is that the size, the hex actually helps with the size of the box and sizing and making it that hexagonal shape. But I like to push down and make sure I kind of press from the outside too, because I want to make sure that all of my tabs are connecting to the inside of the box, okay? Like this. Then, when you feel like it's connected, you can turn it around and put this one right on over it. And that covers all those tabs. Isn't that cool? I like this way. most of Cricut's boxes and stuff like that they don't use this method, and I really like it because it makes the box bottom really sturdy, and you don't have to see the tabs, and yet you don't have to put the tabs on the side of the box, okay? So I'm just going to press down. You can press down with whatever you want to press down with. You can use this sort of thing. Oh, let me tell you a little bit about this thing. Somebody was saying, could you show us how to take the cap off of this? So I said, yeah, sure. And I was starting to take the cap off, and this happened where the cap didn't. So I decided I was going to force it because it's right here. This stuff here, this green stuff in there is, that's the waxy stuff. So, of course, I tried to force it, and I hurt my finger so badly that it hurt worse than where I got my vaccination. So, don't force it if you can't make it happen, folks. Okay, if you have one of these and you can't make it happen. I don't know, maybe that's why it was on sale. Okay, so here's the box bottom. It's almost complete. The only thing we need to do is to take our little edge. Here are the edge pieces, and you'll see that they have that dashed cut line. They're exactly the same, and you're going to want to fold them just like this, okay? And put some glue on the back of them. This would be a good time if you wanted to bling out these pieces if you wanted to. So for instance, before I put all the glue on there, I might want to take some pearls and put it on the opposite side, and it would look real pretty with the pearls. You don't need to do it, but there's an option to embellish, okay? So these pieces will go right on here, and they just sort of hug the bottom of the box, right? Same here. Put some glue on. Now, the only other thing that the box itself, the bottom of the box needs is the ribbon, but I want to do that all at once so you can see the thought process there. So we will wait on the ribbon part. So we're just going to do this part, and we'll just make sure it's lined up. And we'll just put this aside because we are done with the box, except for the ribbon, okay? So let's put that aside. Now we're going to work on the top of the box, and we'll tackle the flower at the very end, okay? So here's the flower, and this is the top of the box. So the top of the box has the same sort of deal. I don't know how I ended up with, I must have cut these out. Oh, no, here. Okay. All right. I confused myself. Okay. So it has the same sort of deal. It has the inside part of the box. It has the outside part of the box. And then here are all the edges. And you'll notice that the edges have, in the middle of both, have this little squared off piece. That's for our ribbon. So we're going to fold all these tabs first, and then we are going to affix our patterned pieces to the box before we assemble it, and it will be so much easier for us. But when you do that, do be sure that you're affixing the correct one. So see how this is squared off? You've got to use the correct one for these, all right? So this is the way it will look. There's this one. And then this one goes here, right? Just like that. So you can go ahead and glue those pieces on to your paper. Onto the actual top of the box. Make sure that you're putting it so that it's not overlapping where your cut lines are, okay? And Just going to press that down. Okay. Okay. So we're going to do the same thing with this side. Isn't that a beautiful pattern with the gold? I figured with the gold, it will look really beautiful with the ribbon and everything, the gold ribbon. And remember, you don't have to do it exactly like me. You don't have to do it exactly like Leo. You can pick your own colors. You can decide, nope, I don't want a peony on the top, or I want to make this for my dad, and I want to put, I don't know, a golf picture or something, golf ball, or I don't know, something for dad on the top. I know that's sort of stereotypical, but or you think, well, I don't really like pinks too much. I want to do a rose. You could do the rose. But you know me, I love peonies. So I'm going to go with the peony. So the peony like color. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to attach these pieces together just like we did with the box bottom. And we're just going to do that right at that tab. Make sure that that is right at that edge where the dash cut lines are, okay? And you end up with this strip that has 6 panels, and then we're going to fold it just like that, and then we are going to fold in that other tab. All right, and let's make sure that it's really on there well. And while we do that, we'll take part of the gold. Now, the gold is interesting. This is the ribbon. You could emboss the ribbon if you wanted to. I think that they do that on Dreaming Tree. But I chose a textured gold because I thought that would be kind of cool. So we're going to take these 2 pieces. These are the smaller pieces that are going to go on here, and we're going to attach them now. Attaching them after the fact at this size is a little problematic. So just save yourself a little bit of hassle and put them onto that middle piece where it has a squared off bottom. And also try not to get glue on your gold. It's hard to come off on the gold. Flip that over, and we're going to put this on here. We're also going to prepare the top. And we're going to take there are 3 pieces. They almost look the same size, but one is slightly taller. So this is the one. And we're going to take of our 2 box tops. We're not going to use the one with the circle punch. We're using this one, and we're going to put this paper on here. And I think this looks so beautiful that I almost don't want to put the peony on there. All right. And then this piece is going to go here. Now, when you do put it on here, be mindful of where it's laid, because once you glue it, you're stuck with it, and you want to make sure that have the visual effect of the ribbon like this, okay? Just so you know. So we popped in all of the tabs. We're going to either, you can flip it over, or you can do it from the top if you want. But we're putting the tabs on the inside edge, just like we did with the box bottom, okay? And then we're going to take the one that has the circle punch in it, and we're going to place that in there just like we did with the box bottom. Going to push down, make sure that they all catch. Again, I could use this if I wanted to. What are you doing, dog? And then when you turn it around, you'll see there are all your tabs, okay? And then you can then take your cover piece, put it on there. Benji, what are you doing, honey? Chewing on something at my feet. Okay, so I'm putting that on there, and it fits perfectly. And if you want, you can turn it over and just kind of press on it. Make sure it's really gotten in there good. It takes a minute for it to dry, but that's okay. All right. And if you have to go back and sort of slip in a little bit of glue, do that. Just don't use a lot of it at first because you'll end up with a big old mess. Okay? Benjamin, please, honey, stop. Oh, no, no, no. Oh, he had a cutie. Oh, my gosh. That's one thing that's just not allowed. He had a box with a cutie, and he would make a mess of that cutie. Okay, so then we're going to take our ribbon top, and we're going to put it on. All right. Now let's see how it fits on the box. I know, right, Deborah? It was the candy apple red cutie, which I only have one of. And if he got it, I don't know how it fell on the ground. Get out of there. He just like goes shopping in my supplies. Okay, so there is the top put on there. I need to put a little bit more glue here to make it work. And look at that. There's you could absolutely cut this, Mary Jane, on an Explorer. Don't feel like you need to get a new machine to do this project. You don't need that. So I'm just going up and just touching up the little area. And now I'm going to take these two pieces of ribbon and put them on the side of my box on opposites. Personally, I like that the ribbon is over this blinged out area. But you don't have to have it that way. You can put it underneath, but I just feel like it would be ribbon on there. And we're going to put these on opposite sides. Now, if you wanted to be done with this, you could be, because you have a beautiful box that it's got a ribbon. Maybe you want to put a bow on here. You can do that as well. But they've chosen to put a flower, and that flower is a peony. So there are 5 petals, and they go up or down. They start big, and they're exactly the same. They have 5 petals each. And let's make sure I got the right. That one's the same size. And this is the inside one, okay? So that's the bigger one, and then it gets progressively smaller, okay? There are 5 petals. There's a stamen, and then you also get the leaves and the, I don't remember the name of this thing, but sepal. It's a sepal. Okay, so you'll notice that on some of these, there are dash cut lines right here. Be careful, because I'm going to show you how we can make it look like a peony, and we're going to use our trusty little scraper to do this. We're going to hold it in the middle, firmly in the middle, because if you do not, you will pull off a leaf, and then it will be frustrating, because you can glue it back on, but it will be frustrating. So I am just taking my scraper, holding in the middle here, okay? And we are just giving especially on the inside part, give it a real lot of curl. You want to do that. Give it a lot of curl. And then as you get further out, or the end, the outside part, then you don't have to do it as much. okay? But be careful because of those dash cut lines. It makes it a little bit fragile there, and it tends to want to pull off. And I have had this happen to me. I wasn't paying attention or something, and I'm really holding it really good because I really want to get a nice curl on those inside pieces, okay? So I'm just going to do that for these, the first three, really good, and then the remaining two, I'm going to just do it a little bit. Okay. Also, if you like to ink, this would look great if you did inking. And if you don't know what inking is, it's using some sort of ink. And this is another example. Yesterday I showed you how you could use alcohol ink, but this is called a dewdrop. It's a little tiny ink, pigment ink case, or yeah, a little tiny one. This is actually chalk ink, and if you wanted to ink it, you would just take that and just sort of pounce it along those edges, preferably before you did the curling, okay? I just left it out, I'm sorry. So that is what that's for. Okay, the last two pieces, might have to really dig if you don't have big hands. I don't have big hands, so I have to make sure I'm holding those leaves. All right. Okay. And I'm not putting too much of a curl on this part, okay? So all we do here is stack. And I suppose you could do pop dots, but personally I think it's fluffy enough that just using glue is fine. So we're just going to stack each one in, and we're using that circle in the middle as a guide of where it needs to go, but we're turning it so that, you see that circle? We're turning the petals so that you're basically getting coverage through the whole circle, through the whole flower, okay? And then here comes the third one. So I'm kind of offsetting those petals to give a real look of a peony, right? The fourth one, I'm just following that circle, just offsetting it a little tiny bit. Really want a fluff factor here. And then the last one goes here. Okay, everybody with me? And there's your flower. Inking would look very nice here. And again, if you wanted to use this flower as one that has a stem, would be perfect. You might need to, if you're going to use something like this, you might need to make the hole a little bit bigger, but it's perfect for putting on a stem. So let's do the leaves next. Each leaf has their dash cut line in each of them. There's, I think, 3 of them. 3 pieces for the leaf. I don't feel like you need to fuss too much over the leaf, but it does give it a little bit of dimension if you just sort of fold at those cut lines. Oops. All right. So you got these 3, and you're going to flip it over, and you can just choose. I did it sort of in a Y shape like this. We're going to glue these here, and then we'll put the sepal over it. just to hide it. And again, nobody's probably going to see this part, so you may not even want to put the sepal, but I love that he gave us one so that if in case we needed to use it for another reason, it's there. It's very thoughtful. All right, so we put it in, I put it like kind of in a Y shape, and then here is that sepal, which you could sort of give a little bit of a curve to if you wanted to, and glue it to the bottom of the flower. You can turn it over, and then the last piece is the stamen. See that? And again, you don't need to use it, but it's there for you, okay? So here's the stamen. You want to sort of run it through your fingers to give it a bit of a curl. You could use this if you wanted to, but it's pretty fragile. So don't, go crazy. All right. So you just want to give it sort of like train the paper so that it's kind of curled a little bit. You can do it. I want to do it this way. I like this side of the color. I don't know if you see a difference. Now, this we're going to roll very similarly to a quilled flower. You can do this by hand, but if you're used to doing quilling and you have the quilling tool, or if you have tweezers, you can also use the quilling tool. Make it a lot easier to do. A quilling tool this has glue. Mine has glue on it. Okay, here's the quilling tool. It's basically a split pin, or the head of the pin is split, and you put the paper in that slot as if. I am going to show you this, but I'm having trouble. How am I having trouble with this? I did this earlier, but it got glue in there. Hold on. If you don't have the right thing, or it's not cooperating like mine is, you can also use your tweezers. But I'm going to try to do it with this. Of course not. Of course not. Poop. Okay, here, we got it. It's my fault. I put that glue right on that thing. I think I probably used this to press down on something that had glue on it. All right, so we're going to hold it either with the tweezers or that quilling, or if you don't have one, you can do this by hand, okay? And we're going to start twirling. This is very similar to the rolled flowers. And by the way, if you guys want to see a rolled flower demo, I'm happy to show you that. I've done it so many times, but I'm happy to show you all the different variations. Just let me know. So we get to the end, and there's a strip here, and that's where our glue is going to go. And I put a little too much glue because it's going to come out the end. So I'm going to get it on my finger rather than on there. Hold it for a second. Oh yeah, that's a good idea, Renee. All right, hold it for a second to make sure that that glue has adhered to itself, adhered that. And then you can sort of just pop it off. Or if you're using the tweezers, you just open the tweezers. Then, before we put it in the flower, we're just going to fluff it out. All right. Go all the way into the inside part. And this you can't really fluff too much, but you can fluff these little pieces here, right? And we're going to put some glue on the bottom here. And stick it to the inside. And this is where something like this comes in handy, to really press it down and grab it. You could also use glue gun here if you wanted to, but I have had a lot of success with the regular old liquid glue. at least when I'm looking. All right, and so just let it sit there for a second. Let's grab our box. And now we can just put this on top of our box. You can use regular glue for this. If you want, you can use foam mounting squares, but I'm just going to use regular old glue. I hope my stamen is doing okay. And do try to center your flower onto the top. Just kind of eyeball it. And press down. Make sure it's really well adhered. You do need to let it dry because look, I didn't let it dry and it's kind of eh. And you can always go back and hit it with a little bit more glue, which I think I will do for this, but I'm in a hurry. So you'll do it better than me because you'll be a little more patient with it and a little more forgiving with your time. And that is the Peony Gift Box. Isn't that great? You can sort of display it like this. Obviously, I can't do that with mine because the flower is not quite adhered on there. And be careful when you're putting the cover on because you got all those little like dewdroppy type things there, the lace pieces. I'm making a mess. Okay, sorry. I shouldn't have tried to do something fancy because, you know, that always leads to failure for me. But, okay, so there we go. Let it dry is the tip, the last tip I'm going to give you, okay? So let it dry really good and don't start playing around with it. And you see, you can change up the look by choosing different colors, and that's the point that I want to make. This is a fabulous box to make. Consider it for all kinds of things, not just the springtime or for Mother's Day, but it is pretty gorgeous for Mother's Day. So there is a fun thing to do. And really just probably my favorite project from Dreaming Tree, because I just like this box. Okay. All right, so that is it, everyone. Sorry to run over a little bit, but it is Friday, and I think it was my friend Emmy that said we start on Friday to craft. Let's see, Rita, can you link the dewdrop inks you shared and the quilling tool with the handle? Yes, I will. This actual quilling tool is from Cricut, but it's no longer available. So I will find some quilling tools that are comparative, I guess. And also, I'm not sure that these are still available. This is chalk ink, but I will link to something like this. This is so much better if you're not a huge stamper to use this sort of thing because it's a little more economical. You can usually get 4 of them for like about $10 or $12. And pigment inks don't dry up. That's the difference between a pigment ink and a dye ink, which is what most of us are normally used to. And if you also let me know later on if you want to see some demos on dyes versus pigment inks, I'm happy to show you that as well. So that is it. Okay, folks, I hope you enjoy your day and get some crafting in. We'll see you again tomorrow night at 7 o'clock, where we're going to do our 2 hydrangea projects, which I will give you the links for later on today. I'll put it in the description of the video. If you're watching on the replay, thank you for staying with me. And thanks everybody for coming today. We'll see you tomorrow night. Have a wonderful day. Bye.